Hi, how's it going? It's Charles Botensten from Botensten Properties International. We are here on my roof, and we're going to be discussing a very, I would say it's an emotional topic. And the reason that it's an emotional topic is because it has to do with sellers, which I know is a very emotional time, and obviously they're like, I had a choice between realtors or real estate agents. Not many people in New York City are quote unquote realtors because it's a designated trademark. I'm not. You have to be a National Association of Realtors. I digress. But essentially, owners that want to stay for showings or owners that want to stay for open houses. I think this is the worst idea that anyone has ever thought of or as a broker agreed to. And obviously, if the owner is absolutely adamant, like you are going to lose your exclusive if I am not allowed. And excuse me, I had a birthday party yesterday, and it was fun. Had a little raspy voice, and I'm getting over a cold. And I know as an owner, and listen, I understand, it's very emotional. You had to choose between selling it on your own, then you chose a real estate agent, and you had many to choose from, and you want to get the best price. And I know you want to be there and see what the feedback is and everything else. And that's why you choose a professional. A professional knows how to provide feedback properly. Feedback as in, we should paint this wall, we should redo something that is maybe $2,000 or $3,000, but ultimately will sell the house for about $10,000. Or $15,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 more. You know, obviously that's an extreme case, but you have to look at it from a buyer's perspective, and I know this is extremely hard. Whenever I say that to a buyer, well, look at the seller's side. Or if I say that to a seller, look at what the buyer's thinking right now. And I know that's very challenging. But think about it in a buyer's perspective. They're walking through a home, they see someone that is, even if you as an owner naturally look like you're looking at the home, if you were there when a buyer arrives, and you're still there, and you're just walking around the home, and the buyer leaves, they're going to leave and be like, I think that was the owner. They were there when we arrived. They didn't ask many questions, and they just walked around and lily-dallied. Buyers are smart. They know who the owner is. They're listening. The owner may listen and things like that. A buyer will not enjoy a home. I've never had an owner, when I'm on the listing side, be there, but I've been there when I brought buyers. And I've done it for sale by owners. And the buyer doesn't see the home because they feel like they're being judged. They feel that they can't be natural and the way they should be. You know, when you walk in, you know what it's like? Perfect example. It's like walking into a jewelry shop or an expensive watch shop or you're buying a mattress or you're buying a car, and you know that person is there to sell you something, and they are making a commission. It's like walking into Macy's shoes. Whoa, just heard an accident. That sounded terrible. It just took me out of my train of thought. But it's like walking into Macy's, you're buying shoes, and you know that person is on commission. You know that owner is there because it's their home. And the owner's saying, oh, I renovated this, or the owner's just there to hear feedback. The buyer is not going to be present. Just like when you go in to buy shoes, to buy a car, to buy a mattress, you're not as present because you're on the defensive. You're on the defensive. You're like, oh, this guy, this person's just trying to sell me the car or sell me the mattress or sell me the watch because they make a commission. They make a portion of this sale. So you're on the defensive. You're kind of inside your head. You're very, you're ready to fight instead of be open and free and be like, listen, this is a listing agent. There's no owner around. I can say whatever I want. I can say I hate the view, or I hate the kitchen, or the wallpaper sucks, or the flooring is not what I want. You can be more honest. And you need a buyer to do that. Why? When a buyer's honest with their objections, with their dislikes, a listing agent can handle that. But if the owner is there, the buyer's never going to be as honest. The buyer's going to be like, oh, it's a nice home. But truly, they're thinking in their mind, I would redo this kitchen. Or this view looking at the water tower is not right. If you say that in front of the owner, and I've been there, the owner's like, well, you know, it's still a great view. It's like, the buyer doesn't like the view. The buyer's convinced themselves that they don't like the view, so there's no point in trying to convince the buyer that it's a great view. Or they don't like the kitchen. They want to renovate the kitchen. So let them renovate the kitchen. Don't say, oh, this kitchen is great. I've been cooking here for 10 years. And it's like, you can't do that. And the reason this is challenging for sale by owners, FSBOs, is because once the buyer says something, the owner gets on the defensive. Then the buyer gets on the defensive. And then nothing happens. So I'm just trying to give you examples and reasons why you as an owner should not be at the open house. Don't be there at showings. Don't even be in the area or the building, because then you'll hear things from buyers that may not be true. When they're in the home, that is what they truly are feeling at the moment. They're like, the bathroom I'd redo, and this flooring and wall, and I would put in molding. And as a listing agent, you say, yeah, you know, if you do that, it's going to cost this amount, or it's there's no board approval for it except for an alteration agreement, or they just need the plans. If it's a condo, they just need the engineering and architect plans. And it's unbelievable how free a buyer is when it's a showing, a personal showing. This is the scale of freeness for a buyer. A personal showing where there's just a listing agent and a buyer's agent and the buyer. That the buyer's like, they can criticize whatever. And you know what, to be honest, as an owner, who cares what they criticize? You're selling the home. You're selling the home. Let them criticize everything. The reason it's emotional and you take it on the defensive is because you've lived there. You've raised your child. You've entertained there. You've renovated it. You've woken up there. You've come home every single night. You've cooked there. You've had friends over. Every single activity you've been in that home. And then when someone criticizes it, it's kind of like, it doesn't feel good. So don't be there. It's going to sell your home quicker because the buyer is going to be able to freely express their opinions, their objections, their dislikes with the home, and then it can be answered by the listing agent as honestly as they can. Hey, listen, I'm looking to put a washer dryer in here because, to be honest, I don't really like the building, or I wouldn't even live here unless this had a washer dryer. Let the buyer say that, and let the listing agent, because you hired them, and this goes down to commission, is that if you hire someone that takes a lower commission or someone that's willing to reduce their commission, it's someone, not all brokers are the same. That's what I'm going to get to, is that not all brokers are the same. If you hire someone that cannot handle those objections or is willing to have you at the open house or the showings, it just doesn't show that they're professional. It's going to take longer because you're going to have to have a lot more buyers through. There's and I just said why, because the buyers are not going to be freely open to express how they feel about the home, which means that they're probably going to give in a low ball offer because it's going to be sitting on the market. It's just a bad trend. Anyway, I've talked myself into an oblivion. We are at 9 minutes. I am not rude. This is how I turn off the phone. Actually, you probably can't even see it. It's a live view of my camera. We are on top of my roof. It's a very sunny, very clear day here in New York City. Wow, it's 11 o'clock. I got to head out. I've talking about an appointment. I have one, and it's a Sunday. My last video was go out, enjoy the process. This one is do not be home for showings or open houses. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want, subscribe to my videos. I had a bunch on my our old YouTube video or username, and then I had to transfer it over. So subscribe to the videos and follow us on Instagram. That is our favorite social media network. If you have any questions, let me know. Anyway, hope you enjoy the weekend, and I will talk